program that helps consumers understand how their food choices impact their health by making the connection to agriculture. Learning about how food is grown and produced, and how consumers can make better food choices for themselves and their families, Path to the Plate is all about dispelling myths and misconceptions. Find out more online at pathtotheplate.tamu.edu. We are Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, helping Texans make their lives better.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Gold Lake Conroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket.
All right, we are here with Mornings with Lone Star, irlonestar.com. This is Dick, broadcasting live. I told you we had special guests today. Hope you guys are ready because we're going to be talking about Flag Day. But before we get to that, I want to remind all of our interviews are broadcasted live on our YouTube and Facebook. Just look up Lone Star Community Radio. We're live with all of our in-person interviews right there. So if you're listening in your car, you can also watch when you're at work or anything like that. Just want to remind you, a little different. But right now it is around 10:17. It is June. I'm trying to warm up my voice. That's why I'm letting the ladies in the room know. It's like I'm not ignoring them. But it is June 13th, I believe. I got that right. That means tomorrow's Flag Day. That's every June 14th. So we're going to be talking about that. And in the studio, I got Trish and Elizabeth, returning guests. Y'all just will not leave this place at all.
No, we won't. We can't.
I love it. Well, y'all work down the street. So.
Yeah, like Hotel California.
Yeah. Hey, Trish, you want to get the microphone closer to you guys? Okay. There you go. You got to be professional. This is your second visit, so you got to get ready.
We should know better.
I'm trying.
We should know better. But let's. Last time you guys were in, we're talking about Memorial Day. Actually, I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And that was a really cool event. I saw it on the Facebook, and I got to I watched the stream. And did y'all know it was streamed?
Yes.
Okay.
We made sure.
The way you looked at me, you're like, you sure it was the right Memorial Day celebration? Not
Were
celebration,
we streamed? We didn't know.
We were streamed.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know?
No.
Okay, that's why you gave me that face, because I was like...
No, we did know.
Okay, you're confusing me now. Okay, they did know, because it looked official. So
It was official.
I didn't.
It's officially
Maybe I just
official.
outed somebody.
It's military operations.
Okay.
Official.
I was like, did I just out somebody for putting up a secret camera? And it's like, let's do this. But that was a wonderful event. And now we're talking about tomorrow's event happening at the same area because there's a flag park, and then you also have the flags at the Memorial Park.
Correct.
Because let's take a step back. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. We have a flag park for Texas. Is it considered a flag park?
It's the Heritage Lone Star Flag Park. Yes, there is a flag park
But
adjacent to our Memorial Veterans Park.
Yes, but it's separate, but on the same path.
Yes, we're neighbors.
Neighbors.
We're neighbors.
Okay, so the flag park, everything we're talking about today for this event tomorrow is for
The Montgomery County Veterans Memorial
for the Memorial Park. Okay. Because that would confuse the heck out of me if I wasn't paying attention. And
Same parking lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I stroll up to do Flag Day, and it's like, oh, there's flags right there. Oh, wait, where is everybody? So
We'll be there.
so it's happening, and I put links to honormission.org and all that kind of stuff, so you can find out where the park is really easily in the description below. So if people have questions about the location, but most importantly, this event tomorrow, it happens every year.
Yes.
And basically, we're celebrating the what do you call it? Like they didn't vote it in, but they're like, hey, this is our flag.
The American flag? Yes.
Yeah. What do they call that? It's like
They adopted it.
adopted it. That's the key word. They adopted the American flag. Maybe not the one we're flying today, but they adopted one version of it, right?
The first.
The first version.
Yes. But Flag Day, we are actually hosting a retire and respect of American flags. So those in the community don't know, when your flag is tattered or torn and it's ready to retire, we actually have a collection box at the Montgomery County Veterans Memorial Park where people can drop off their American flags. There's an actual DOD, which is Department of Defense, ceremony that we will perform once a year on Flag Day to respectfully retire our American flags.
All right, so give me the scenarios when you need to retire a flag.
Well, there's an actual ceremony. It opens up with just to give you an idea, we have a presentation of colors.
No, I meant more of like, why am I giving you a flag I need to retire?
Because if it's tattered or torn,
Okay.
you need to respectfully retire your
Okay,
American
now I
flag.
understand. Sorry.
It has served its purpose, and
Okay.
we are now going to respectfully retire it in ceremony. And we're going to acknowledge that this flag has flown, and now we retire it.
Okay, now I understand. Because I was like, most flags I've had in my life, unless there was like a bad storm, have been good. So I wonder if it was just like, if you want to get a new flag, you have to retire the current one you have.
You should.
So you can just,
respectfully
so you don't
retire.
have to, it doesn't have to be torn. You can retire
It
any.
could be weathered or faded.
Yeah, like you can just retire it
Correct.
respectfully. That's the whole idea of this.
Correct.
Which is interesting. So now, sorry I interrupted you about the program tomorrow. So tell me about the whole process of respectfully retiring a flag.
Well, we actually adhere to the Department of Defense ceremony code. So we actually will have a presentation of colors, Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag, and then our pledge to the Texas flag because we reside in Texas. And then we'll have an invocation. We actually will discuss the U.S. flag code, and a presentation by Gullo dealers will be part of our program as well. And then we will have a flag presentation to Blue Star mothers. So part of respectfully retiring the American flag, there's a process. There's different processes of doing it. But we will cut out the blue field, and that part of the American flag will be presented to Blue Star Mothers. Blue Star Mothers are an organization of mothers that their children are currently in service to the country. And they have different programs that they use that blue field for.
Interesting. Because did y'all decide to do the blue field because that looks like the most difficult to cut out?
No, there's part of it. Once you actually cut the blue field out, then it's a separation. It is no longer a part
of the union.
Of the union.
Disjoining the union.
It's disjoining the union.
So we actually.
Does that make sense?
I do, but why would you want to give that piece to somebody that's...
To use.
Yeah.
They actually have a program. Blue Star Mothers organization has a programs that they use the stars within the blue field in the American flag.
Okay, now I'm understanding.
To present.
So they use the stars, not... I thought you were talking about just the blue felt or blue...
Oh, no.
And I was
The
like,
stars within
that's
the
really
blue
strange.
field.
Okay.
They separate the red, white from the blue.
I get you now. The stars are part of it, not the
Yes.
blue part. When you said the blue, I was like, oh, I guess the blue mother, blue, That's still kind of weird, but all right. But I'm understanding now. I'm learning.
Absolutely.
There's so much tradition.
I'm learning too.
We are too.
Well, there's so much tradition with this kind of stuff. And then especially, but a lot of people don't realize how much, like I would say, even language is written about the flag
Absolutely.
itself. It's like you got to fly it a certain way. You have to do certain X, Y, Z. A lot of people don't know that. They just think, oh, it's Memorial Day. Let's put a flag out.
Correct.
And then,
No.
It always has to be the
there's a
highest
time.
flying.
not in Texas, though.
Texas is unique.
And on Memorial Day, there's a time when you're supposed to lower it and raise it for
Yeah.
in honor of the fallen.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not supposed to lower it until what?
Sun
Dawn.
up to sunset,
Yeah.
essentially.
So it's very strict.
Yes, but like it's so funny how disconnected a lot of people are with that concept. And like I never knew you had to fly, like especially like the patches and stuff. They have to go a certain way. Never knew that.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, man, we put U.S. flags on like our hats and stuff. No one cares, but people do.
People do.
Yeah.
And you want to do so respectfully. So that's what tomorrow's about.
That's
And every day, but tomorrow especially.
well, that's why I find it interesting that you guys offer that service
Yes.
to retire flags respectfully once a year. So it's kind of like, hey, if you do have a flag, I got to wait till Flag Day. And to me, that makes it more special. It's because it's like something you're holding on to, and then you know it's going.
Yes, but we collect flags every day of the year, and we do have smaller ceremonies, but this is a community event, and we want to educate, and we want the community to be a part of it. So that's why Flag Day is such an important day.
Yeah, I would love to see the stars with the Blue Star Mothers, like what it looks like. Because I clearly visually do not understand what's happening with that.
Well, you just have to come by tomorrow at 5:30.
Oh, so that's when you...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we will actually hand it over, and then they have a program that they use that with Gold Star Mothers. And Gold Star Mothers is an organization of mothers who have lost their child while they were in active service.
Okay.
So so we're working with other organizations and programs, but they're passing it forward. So the American flag we're retiring has a purpose. It always had a purpose.
Well, that's what I'm
Now
saying. It's like a living thing.
It absolutely is.
and-
That's how we're supposed to treat it. That's why we
Pay it
retire
forward.
it.
Well, that's why I like the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes.
I really like that song. It's a good song.
It is a living, breathing representation of our country. So we treat it. We're trying to treat it that way.
That's wonderful. And you guys have a lot of flags there.
Yes, we do.
Oh, who's the stickler with all the rules? I know there's one person. Because we talk about the American flag has rules, but there are other flags I bet have rules too.
They all do, but the American flag is representative of our country. So.
And you know, like, I'm not trying to get political or anything, but I always find it really interesting that these rules are there, but then we can just burn it.
Well,
I know
you can't just burn it. That's
Well,
part of the ceremony.
I'm talking about like in protest, like back in the day.
Well, that's
And that's what I'm saying. I think it's one of those wonderful yin yang things where it's like the good and the bad, and I get why people would respectfully do it, and I get why people would want to, I wouldn't burn it, but if they want to burn it, we're going to be okay with that because we're America and that's how we do it.
well.
Right? Can you not burn
Not
flags?
quite.
Am I wrong? I thought there was like a whole Supreme Court case about this. I'm
As
not
a veterans organization,
I'm not encouraging anybody to do this.
We would not encourage or
I'm not encouraging. No,
I
I'm,
plead the
to
fifth.
burn a flag.
no. I just think about it because I love what's going on tomorrow,
Right.
and it makes it so much more special to me to be in a country that this is how we respect the flag, and because and then like I said about on the polar opposite, people do that kind of stuff. It's like, hey, we still do this though, we still respect it.
Well,
Correct.
in all honesty,
Uh-oh.
and I'm not going to be political about this,
Yeah.
if the people on the front lines that gave their lives, okay, they wouldn't even have the opportunity to disrespectfully burn the flag
Yeah.
if it was not for our veterans that defend our
Well, I
country
think-
and give them freedom. And that's where they need to understand.
Well, that's what I love about this event tomorrow is it encompasses so much more depth than just like, we're being nice to a flag. It's just so much more to it.
Absolutely.
And it hits different areas, and I learned so much today in learning about what you do with the flag and how to respectfully, I guess you'd retire it. That's such a nice word to call it, because now flags are so easily purchased.
Forgotten. Never throw it away. That's what this program is about.
That's how it all-
There is a process. There's somewhere if you're not sure what to do, you come to the park and you put it in our box, and we will respectfully retire it. Part of that process is once we take the blue field away from the stripes, we actually will burn the red and the white stripes.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And then we will bury it. Grommets included as well. So there is a process to it. It is living, breathing. That is how
That's what I'm saying.
always
It's-
thought. So that's
it gives it such more
respect it that way.
meaning long term too.
yes.
So, and I like traditions like that because they're almost like forgotten traditions, I guess. Because most people who I think of who follow what you're saying are more military-based people, or they were connected to a military service member, or that kind of stuff. Because the traditional family has some traditions in it, but not like with the flag, unfortunately. Because when I was growing up, I never knew any of that, but I knew my cousin was when he joined the United States Marine Corps. He had all these rules, and I was like, "How do you remember all this?" And they do. It's really weird. And
they represent, the flag is a representation for them. So
Yeah, that's
why
what I'm
they honor
saying.
it.
They remember it. Like I bet you could ask him today, like, hey, what are the rules of retiring a
Absolutely.
flag? He'd be like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, okay. Now I know. Now I have someone I can call.
I learned through my son through Eagle Scouts, and that was one of their projects. So we actually went through a ceremony, and that was my first awakening to that process.
Yeah.
I knew there was one, I just never had attended a ceremony. So that was the first time I ever did
I'm
it.
curious to see where that information could be obtained just in general public. Because like the library's right there. They have a flag. I wonder if they retire any flags ever.
They actually are presenting it to us because they are our neighbor, and
Yeah.
we have a partnership with the library as
'Cause
well.
that's I love the
we're a
library over
neighbor.
there.
And they are they have been depositing their retired American flags now at the park. There's different organizations, VFW and other organizations as well. But we wanted it's a easily found location. We're right next to the library. We are a flag part as well. So we just wanted to make sure that we pay it forward as well and give
Yeah.
an opportunity to those that didn't know what to do with their flag to actually.
Yeah, I wonder.
Bring it
I wonder if
somewhere.
Golo is going to bring all their giant American.
We have been presented with a very large flag, and they will be bringing flags with them as well. And they're very big supporters. A lot of their employees are veterans that we recognize at the park as well. And this event is open to everyone in the community, but they will be attending as well. And we have asked them to please bring any flags that need.
Because a
need
lot of
to be
people don't
retired.
realize like there's some big flags and there's some small flags.
Really big flags.
And they don't fit into the depository. So if you have a really, really, really
We
big
will go
flag,
and meet you.
please bring it to the office. Don't try to shove it into
It
the
won't
deposit.
fit.
It won't fit.
There's
That's
some
wonderful.
pretty big ones that take about 20 people
Yeah.
just to hold.
So tomorrow at the park for Flag Day, what time does it start?
5:30 sharp. So
Sharp.
it's military operations. So it will start at 5:30.
And how long would you say it's going to last?
Approximately 30 minutes to 40.
Depends on how
Give or
many
take.
flags.
Just
and,
depends how many flags. Correct. We
and,
have a certain.
And if
lot
I
of
want to
ones.
bring a flag, do I need to do anything before? Do I need to call? Do I need to reserve anything?
Well, if you're bringing one of those very large ones,
Yeah.
just give us a heads up. We'll make sure we have enough
That's
people there to
wonderful.
collect it. But other than that, no, everyone is welcome. It will start at 5:30. We will have covered seating because we are aware it is in June and it is Texas.
Yeah, it's
And
hot.
Very hot.
And we're burning.
Yeah.
And you're burning. But we are going to have a little gathering, beverages, light beverages and fairs following.
Oh, wow.
So we welcome everyone to attend.
That's wonderful. And so that's tomorrow. We'll put more information on the links below. It's honormission.org. Also, you guys rely on donations, volunteers all year round.
All year
So
round.
check out the website, see what you can do to help out monetarily. Is that, say that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I said that right. Last time I said momentarily, I was like, what does that even mean? But yeah, so money and time.
Yes.
So Flag Day tomorrow at 5:30 at the park, at the Memorial Park, not the Texas flag park with the Texan guy.
We're next to it.
We're right next to
You
it,
won't miss
so-
it. You'll see a party
will
going on
not.
across
So-
the pond, and you're like, what's over there?
What's
Right,
over here?
1776 Freedom Boulevard. Kind of an easy address to
Yeah.
remember.
That's the United States, right?
Yes, 1776.
No,
I mean, it's also the park.
Well, I get confused because it's like with Texas history. You know, when I went to school, Texas history was a whole year,
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It
and
is.
so I
Still
get
is.
I always get
It is.
confused with dates. And it's like right now, I have no idea when we had our Texas when we became Texas. Was it?
19th century. 18.
I thought it was like, is it 1896? No,
No,
I'm
a little earlier than that.
yeah. I was like, now they make a whiskey of it, so I should remember it.
You should.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
remember. 1776 was when we gained our independence.
I remember that.
Formerly the United States.
My
of
dad's gonna
America.
kill me because that's what we did every summer.
Go and travel.
Travel all American Revolution was his typical dad. Mm-hmm. You know, let's learn all about the presidents and all about the generals.
Well, we had
That's
one
not
at
bad.
that time.
Yeah.
Both.
But I would like to mention just quickly, if I can, about how the whole conception of the Retire and Respect got started.
Oh, okay.
And that was with Judge Jimmy C. Edwards, our chairman, and he knows everybody. So he knows somebody at the dump, at the where you take your trash. And so the gentleman called him, and
This is a great story.
he said, Judge, I want you to take a look at what I have here.
The landfills
The
were
landfill.
fortunately filled with
People
American
were
flags.
bringing their flags. I mean, just putting them in the dumpster, their trash, because they did not know how to
Well, yeah.
properly dispose of the flag. So then Judge took it upon himself to say, okay, we're not going to do this in
is not
Montgomery
good
County. We're not going to do this.
Well-
Our flags will not be in landfills. So then
The program was born.
The program was born.
And I
And
honestly,
that's
I
really
didn't even
that's
know.
how it all started.
I knew there was something with it. But then again, I never encountered myself wanting to throw away an American flag.
Apparently people do. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm learning, Elizabeth's learning, we're all learning. And this is what a great part of our job is, that we get to learn about our country and our freedom and all that. But how many people really don't know how to
I-
dispose of the flag properly?
I knew
so
there
you
was
get
something.
frustrated
I
and
knew-
you just say, I'm going to just throw
Or
it away.
And I knew there
people
was-
hoard them in their garage
they
because
hoard 'em.
they don't know what to do with it. So now they can be a part of this.
'Cause I know it's not supposed to touch the ground.
Never.
No,
Correct.
know that.
especially not in a dumpster.
Because I always wondered that, because I was in Boy Scouts, and I was like, why are you letting this small kid, me, hold the American flag? I'm like tiny. Like, it's going to touch the ground.
Right.
Like, I don't want to touch it. I remember doing that. I was like, I'm not going to touch this. And I'm like, well, you got to. It's part of the. No, I'm just going to drop it.
So never touches the ground. We actually are very cognizant of that when we change out our flags at the park as well. It's all hands on deck because it is a representation of our country. And you treat our country with respect, you will treat the flag with respect as
I
well.
love it, and that's really important. So tomorrow at 5:30, we're gonna put more information on it. Honormission.org. Trish, Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming in and talking about this today.
Thank you
And
for
I look
having
forward
us.
to having my neighbors over again. Again, guys, if American flag is in your life and you want to retire it, this is the way to do it. So you don't have to wait once a year. You can always contact you guys, and
Every day.
there's a ceremony. There's a whole thing to it. So remember that, and especially remember that tomorrow, because this is when we did adopt our flag, and our flag is pretty important. So,
It is.
guys, take care. We're gonna get back to the music here on Mornings of Lone Star. It is Tuesday, so stick around. We got I know we have Bob Smiley coming in on the Cindy Cochran Show. Stick around for that, and we'll be back.
God's Garage is a 501c3 that repairs and gives away cars for free to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military. You can help God's Garage by donating a vehicle, volunteering your time, or by monetary donation. God's Garage is located at 20